Next question is, what kind of projects, I mean, you addressed that just a little bit, but what kind of projects do you have coming up for Hard 80's Radio?
Well, it's funny you mentioned that. We just had a production meeting yesterday where the three of us got, it was strange because we're in the studio sitting around where we normally sit to do our shows, and microphones pushed over to the side, and we're just all, notebooks out, and talking a little bit about what's next, what do we tackle. And I think the next thing that, like I said, is on the to-do list is get that software so we can do our shows absolutely live, on a given night. And then the next thing is merchandise. I think we're at that point where T-shirts and you start having to brand yourself and get that out. And so that's the next thing we're working on. And after that, Hard 80's is also working with High Volume Music out of Maryland. And speaking of new music, this all kind of ties together. We'll be in the upcoming picture. We're High Volume Music, Hard 80's Radio, and Rock Daddy out of New York will be kind of teaming up, and we're going to be looking for some new bands. It'll be kind of like The Voice or a contest where we're going to look at take the top 5 applicants, and if kind of have them compete, and when we find the number one band, then they'll be up for not only airplay, they're going to be up for a production deal with High Volume Records, and they'll have articles on Hard Rock Daddy. So we're going to find our baby as well. I guess if you
wow, that is fabulous. That
kind of using that
exciting.
Yeah, and so it's a lot to undertake, but it's all, I think, well worth it right now. And so that's kind of the next thing that we're going to be working on. And so we have a lot of stuff going on here, and then the outreach to, working with other people and other companies and PR and stuff like that. So it seems like the plate is always full at Hard 80's.
Right.
So, yeah, it keeps you busy.
For those people that haven't listened to your radio show, any of your radio shows, can you tell me a little bit about who else is on Hard 80's Radio? You had mentioned to me that you have a morning show that you do, that you have other on-air personalities.
We're a 3-person team, and when I say morning show, it really lends itself to a morning show format. So you have talk segments, music, and then back to talk. And it features not only myself, but also Miss Tony Schiavone, who brings the female perspective into the show, which we need. So we talked about when we started this interview, Cheryl, that if you listen to any kind of morning show in your major markets or anywhere really for that matter, you're going to have usually a guy and a girl, 2 guys and a girl. There's always a female aspect to the show, and that was the one thing that Scott and I, my other partner on air, Hammer, thought that that's the most important thing. We need a female. It's actually Hammer's wife, believe it or not.
Oh, okay.
It's the female to find a female. Trust me, we were looking for a good third for the show, and Scott's wife had mentioned, so have you guys thought about a female? Because that's really what you need to balance out all this, male-orientated stuff. I'm like, okay, so we just, and we reached out, and I've known Tony for many, many years. I didn't know if she was exactly going to be excited about doing it, but you know what? She's been amazing. She came in early September of 2015, and here we are, and I'm telling you, she's got a bigger following than I do.
That's very cool. And we were kind of saying, everybody, it's Howard has his Robin, and for people that listen to radio, most people know who Howard Stern is and Robin Givens, and so it that dynamic is really good, and it's really good to have.
Absolutely, and you have to have that dynamic because not only does she bring her own female perspective to the show, I think she represents our female listenership, which is quite high. And so when the girls are out there listening or the females are listening, and she's like, "Get them, Tony,"
right?
They can rally behind some of the things that Scott and I or Hammer and I are rattling on about. And it's funny because my partner in crime, Hammer, who was my co-founder of the station, who we've been friends with for 30 plus years, you know, we can sometimes monopolize conversation. We have a charisma and a time.
Sure.
So bringing Tony in, it took some time, but she's finding her groove. And now it kind of backfired a little bit to the point where those two have turned on me.
Oh, now they're teaming up on you. There you go.
Yeah, I come under fire, and I take a lot of grief, but all deserved. Trust me, I give it as good as I get it. You know, well, the problem is I don't get it. I don't do well with getting it. I hate being on the fire. You know, I like to just dish it out and never take it, kind of guy. I'll be honest.
Right.
But it's all in fun, and you know, we're a family. We love each other dearly. We work very well together. I couldn't imagine doing it with anybody else, honestly. You know, it works because it works with us. It's, you know, the music's important, the quality of the stream's important, the production's important, but at the core of it, the green room is what makes this go. It's, you know, we're selling the music, you know, is important, but you can get that anywhere. We're selling us.
Sure.
And part of our personality. And those two make me better, and hopefully I make them a little better. I can only hope. They're not here to defend themselves. So.
Right. So anybody listening to Hard 80s Radio coming in, they can get a little bit of everything. They can come in and they can hear a great morning show. They can get a little humor. They can get a lot of information about music. They can actually listen to music. They can hear interviews with some phenomenal musicians. And so
we also have our latest page, and so that needs to be, we're going to get that updated as well as we go here, but that usually gives, like, some of these fresh new artists that are coming out onto the market. We kind of feature 3 or 4 of them, and then, you know, maybe put a MP3 up that they can listen to some of their latest music. So newer bands like Outlaws and Moonshine, or the latest one, like House of Lords, or the new one, you know, new bands that, you know, kind of deserve your attention, but maybe hasn't been on your radar in a while.
Right, and it is nice, too, the way radio is set up now, is that you really can. If I said, I really want to hear that interview that you did last week, I can go on your website, I can look it up, I can click on interviews, and I can go back and hear some of the interviews that you've done before. In the old days, if you missed an interview that was on the radio, you missed it. And so it's really nice now that if you discover something, all the people out there, I'm hoping that will start listening to Hard 80s Radio because they've heard this interview, right? They can all go to your website and they can really, you know, enjoy all the things that you've done previously.
Absolutely. I guess, you know, wrapping this up, it really is to have in today's market, today's, you know, technology. There are some pluses to it. You have it on demand, like you said. Oh, I missed it. Okay, so you go to interviews, and there are all of our interviews that we've done, and you can listen at your own will or your own leisure. We have a lot of people that listen to our shows on weekends or whenever it's convenient for them. You know, they come out on certain days, but they're all archived on demand, as I call it. So when you do have time, you're afforded that luxury. Where before, like you said, you missed it. So.
And that's really nice. And that is really, really nice because I remember back in the days when if you just didn't live in a town that, say, carried Howard Stern or carried one of these other popular radio shows, you just didn't get to hear it. How could you hear it? And now, satellite radio.
No, you're like, man, you know, and then you would go to work or school or wherever or out to, and people are talking about it. You know, it was frustrating, to say the very least.
Exactly, and so this is nice, and it allows people to share your show even if they can't do it at the exact time, that exact window in the morning or whatever you're doing.
On their time frame,
yes.
Right? Exactly. We knew that was going to be important. You know, taking advantage of what we could do with today's technology is to be able to provide that. And you know, we have some other things up our sleeves yet. We're still talking about. There's always, you know, pen to paper and ideas floating around. You know, maybe making some just our talk shows downloadable for, like, you know, put on your personal device, like podcast. We're talking some different ideas around. So we're always working. We're always trying to stay a step up there and make it boogie. And but it's, you know, it's a lot of hard work, a lot of time, effort, and it goes into it. But so far, I love it. It's like a labor of love. Yeah, we know it. I know it's all going to be hard work, but we also see the results. We get the feedback. Our fans are the best. The other thing I wanted to touch upon a little bit, Cheryl, before we get, I gotta let you. I don't want to take up all your time, but this really started with, a good positive reaction on social media, and love social media or hate social media, it serves a purpose to an extent that
yes.
We started the Hard 80's group on Facebook, which is almost at 4,000 and growing. And then our fan page and Twitter, and getting the word out that way is so much different now than it was when we tried. Hard 80's was a online station, 10 years ago. But there's just so much has changed in 10 years, and so we're able to do it with, I'd say, a much greater success and love it. It's just things have gone a lot smoother this time, and bandwidth has gotten way less expensive, and there was just a lot of pluses and being able to build things around social media, and that's really how this thing kind of had taken off.
Yes.
And from terrestrial into online. We know out there right now that there's not a lot of terrestrial radio stations that are going to show a lot of love to this type of music. They will if they have a show coming in. They'll squeeze out a couple minutes to talk about it. But overall, so that's why we do the interviews, because not only do these artists, have a great history, they still have some new stuff coming out, and we'd like to be able to get that out to people as well. So
absolutely, and I have listened to Hard 80's radio, and I think you're fantastic. And I love the station, and anybody out there, if you love rock music, go download the app, get it on your phone, or listen to it online. It's so easy, and it's free. I mean, it's so easy to go on your computer and click on it, and it's amazing. And it really is fun. It's a lot of fun. And speaking of being celebrity status, where can we, I know that you have spoken before about being at some festivals. Where can fans go to meet you? Can they go to a festival? Do you have a booth? Do you do that sort of thing as well?
At that point, we've done some festivals here in Minnesota, or shows, I should say. We were set up to do a couple festivals later this year. I don't have a firm commitment, so I don't want to go out and say, hey, we're going to be there, not be there, but we are working on stuff for the future later this fall. I guess I can always get back with you and let everybody know where we're going to be at, and that will be listed on our website. So if they want to come out and say hi or talk to us, they can also. The nice thing is we like to stay interactive as much as possible with our fans. So if they have a shout out, they want to come to the website, make a request for music, just say hi. They can click on interact, send us an email, we'll respond.
And that's fun. That's fun too. I mean, I think people like to do that.
Yeah, I like to stay in touch. I like to hear from people, and we do get a lot of emails on the streams, people requesting, hey, can you play this, hey, can you play that? We get it in there. We have a huge on-air library, not bragging, but if you're going to do this, you have to have the music, and we've done that, and so we like to hear what people are thinking, and we take everybody's suggestions seriously, and so if they're willing to take the time and reach out and talk to us, we will take the time and reach out and talk to them. And so as festivals start to build, as we come into the summer and fall, in 2016, and things start getting booked, I will certainly we'll have things up on the website.
Yes,
alerting people.
We'll have to have an update interview with C Block.
Where are we now? Type thing, right?
Well, yeah, everybody knows that show, right? What is it called? It was on VH1.
Oh, the VH1, right? Absolutely. Where are they now? Right? Yeah.
Yeah. But we
were just talking about that in one of our last shows on the Green Room. That we missed those VH1 behind the music.
Yes, behind the music. Really? That was it. Behind the music.
Some great ones, and then they just up and quit. All the stuff I used to love about MTV is gone, and VH1 is gone, and things constantly change, and they're not always for the better,
And that's why we need radio stations like Hard 80's Radio, because
thank you so much for saying.
We still want to see those things, and you're supplying that to the fans.
I can't tell you how much that means, how much that means to me hearing you say that, because that's why we do this. It's, you want to make some money? Yeah, we want to make some money, not get rich, but we want to be able to pay monthly bills. but we do it for the love of doing it, and we love the music, we love the scene. There's still stuff up there that people need to hear, and there's a younger market coming in. That's the crazy thing. One of our biggest demographics is 25 to 30. Okay, that's kind of shocking considering some of the music we're playing is 30 plus years old. You know, so
many younger people love this style of music. They really do.
Yeah, getting in the mom and dad's record collection.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah, hearing it. So,
but we would love to see you. We would love to see you guys at some of the summer festivals. I know there's a lot of really amazing 80s style festivals that bring out all the older bands and a lot of newer bands. And so hopefully this summer we might catch a few of you coming out from the Hard 80s radio station.
We're going to make it a point to get that done. There are a lot of festivals like M3 and Rock. I mean, the list goes on. Like you said, you know, like the 80s stuff plus the new stuff, and they're blending that stuff together very nicely. So I hope we'll get some invites and we'll get set up and you know, be able to, you know, shake hands and go face to face with a lot of our fans and you know, gain a new, you know, what we say at Hard 80s Radio, your family. You know,
right.
That's the attitude we use. Once you're in the group or you come to rock and roll with us a little bit, you're part of the Hard 80s family, and we want the family to keep growing as big as we can. So that's the best way I can summarize it.
Well, we are here with Curt Block, known as C Block, and he is the co-founder of Hard 80s Radio. And I thank you so much for talking with me today and getting the word out about the radio station. And hopefully we'll get a lot more listeners coming into the family, and so they can share in the station as well.
Cheryl, the honor has been all mine, or ours, if you will, and I certainly thank all your fans and readers, listeners, and come try us. That's all I say. Give us a shot. You know, sooner or later you'll like us.
Yes, I think they will. I absolutely think they will.
We're a lot of good rock and roll, a little comedy, a little bit of fun, and just trying to make it fun. Life is tough enough. We're just trying to lighten the load a little bit.
Yes, thank you so much, Curt. I appreciate it.
Cheryl, again, the privilege has been ours. Thank you. You guys rock.
You're welcome.